Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fourth meeting covering teams, games, and IDs. To start off with the teams, EvilleCon attendees will be sorted into one of two teams, which we base off of the current Chinese zodiac year and its official representation. This year is the year of the horse, and our teams for attendees are Team Azure and Team Rose. You may also hear references made to a third team, Team Shiro. This is a team that is kept specifically for EvilleCon staff and special guests. So that way we can also participate in the fun while not taking away any potential rewards from our attendees. When it comes to teams and how they relate to registration, when attendees pre-register for the convention online, they'll often choose one of the two teams to join. When that attendee arrives at the pre-registration table to receive their badges, their team will also be listed, at which point you can give them the button or ribbon that matches their team. VIP guests also have the ability to choose or change their team at registration when they come to pick their badge. At the pre-registration or at the registration table, attendees will be asked when they are purchasing their badges which team they would like to join. We will also be monitoring the team numbers throughout the weekend to help ensure that the teams do stay balanced. That way, we don't accidentally end up with only, say, 200 people on Team Rose and then 2,000 people on Team Azure. And this process will be covered in more detail during our meeting covering the registration process. Throughout the weekend, each team will work to earn points for their team. Points will be awarded in a variety of different ways, including completing selfie bingo, where attendees will be sent out with little bingo cards asking them to find different items, take a selfie with it, and then bring them back to the table to confirm that they found those items. The attendees will receive points not just for individual bingos, but also additional points if they are able to complete the entire board. There are also challenges from Ox King's Conquest that attendees can complete, where attendees will go to complete one of many different quests, come back with proof they've completed their quest, often in the form of a photograph, and then they'll receive points. There will also be a Plinko game set up at the team games table. If you have never heard of Plinko, it is a vertical board set up with little pegs in it and an opening at the top and little cups down at the bottom. A small round ball is dropped in at the top. It'll bounce down the various pegs and land in a random little cup down at the very bottom. There will be different point amounts rewarded depending on the amount in the cup that their ball landed in. And of course, there will also be points awarded for collecting ribbons. Throughout the weekend, attendees can come up to the table, show how many ribbons that they've collected, and then the team with the most ribbons will earn extra points for their team. During closing ceremonies, additional prizes will be awarded to the teams that have earned the most points during the entire weekend. When it comes to IDs, IDs must be checked for all 18 plus panels and events. So basically, any panel or event that is not rated for all ages. When we're referring to IDs, we're referring to driver's licenses, photo identification cards that are not driver's license, but still have the attendee's photograph and their date of birth. Attendees can also use a military ID or a passport. The date of birth that we'll be looking for this year for each day of the convention is March 20th, 21st, and 22nd of 2008. The attendee must be 18 on the day of that panel or older. If it is the Friday of the convention and the attendee turns 18 on Saturday, they still are not able to get into 18 plus panels on Friday. This may sound harsh, but it is a legal requirement that we must adhere to. Each state does their IDs a little bit differently, and most have a slightly different design for their probationary licenses, which are the licenses and IDs given to individuals under the age of 21. Identification cards will also look slightly differently from driver's licenses. However, the date of birth will still be in the same place. Also important to note is that their ID cannot be expired. If their ID is expired, we are unable to accept it as age verification. It is, however, acceptable if somebody has their physical plastic identification card, if it is expired, but they have the paper copy from the relevant organization confirming that they have renewed their ID, the new physical ID has not just arrived. If they show you both of these in conjunction with each other, then that is acceptable. On the next few slides, we're going to look at some examples of licenses that you will most likely see and where their birth date and expiration date are located. To start off with, we have driver's licenses and IDs for the state of Indiana. The date of birth is located on the standard ID down in the center, with the expiration date located in the upper left or upper right corner. For a probationary ID, there is a handy little box next to the photo showing when the operator will be under 18 and under 21, as well as the date of birth in the lower left corner and the expiration in the upper right. You'll also notice that the standard ID is horizontal while the probationary is vertical. And this will be the case for most states. For the state of Kentucky, the standard ID has the date of birth and expiration date stacked in the center of the right side. For the probationary ID, apologies for the blurry image. It is surprisingly difficult to find high-quality sample images of IDs. The date of birth and expiration are both in the upper right corner, with the probationary age information right below it. For the state of Illinois, the date of birth and expiration date are stacked together on the standard ID in the top center of the identification card. On the probationary, it is all on the left side, with the probationary identification age information directly under the image and the expiration date to the right. For the state of Ohio, the date of birth is in the lower left-hand corner, with the expiration date right in the center of the ID. For the probationary ID, all of the information is located in the center of the right-hand side, with the exception of the expiration, which is down to the left. And then for the state of Michigan, the date of birth is in the top center of the identification card with the expiration date right next to it. And for the probationary card, it is all located on the right-hand side of the ID in a nice little stacked column. That brings us to the end of our meeting over Teams and IDs. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to have an amazing weekend with you.